Hello everyone, welcome to Southern Wreaths. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, share my video, and please join my wreath group. It's only $1.99 a month and you'll get a video that you can only see if you're a member. Today I'm going to show you how I make this moon wreath. I have black roses and purple berries. Someone sent me a picture, one of my wreath customers, and she wanted a specific wreath, but she wanted it in purple. Of course, I'm going to make it my own. I had already told her that I don't copy people's work, but I'm going to try my best to get it kind of the way she wants it. She's going to add more to it once she gets it, because she wants to add like a cat playing with the dangling gem, but she says she wants to add those. So I have these purple berries I got from Dollar Tree. I have these eyeball roses, but I'm going to pop the eyeballs off and just use them as regular roses. And I'm also going to use the leaves, and I'll probably take the spiders off. So I have this is about an 18-inch grapevine wreath, black spray paint, because she wants it black. And I have zip ties and a glue stick. I'm not 100% sure how you're supposed to cut these into a moon, so I'm going to do what I think you're supposed to do. If it doesn't work, I can always get another grapevine wreath. I don't want to waste a grapevine wreath, but if I have to, I have to. So I am going to use zip ties to mark where I want the like moon shape to be, and then I'm going to cut it away. Once I'm done cutting it away, I may add hot glue in it, because I'm going to spray paint it. You won't be able to see the hot glue, and that way I know it's going to hold. I'm not too concerned with anything over here, because there's only going to be about that much of the grapevine wreath showing on either end. So I definitely want to cut the skinnier part of the wreath, just because it's already kind of held together. So I'm going to use my green zip ties, because I never really use those. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm attaching several together so they're big enough. If you have a larger zip tie, you won't have to do that. And then I'm going to figure out where I want it. So I think I want, let me look at the picture. I want it down here and then up here. So I think right here is good. And I'm just doing this to mark where I'm going to cut it. And it's going to hold the grapevine wreath together once I'm done cutting it apart. It's not just going to spray everywhere. It's going to hold together. So I do want it pretty tight. But there's no need to cut it away. And I'm going to do that again at the top. The tedious part, I'm just going to start trimming them away. I'm just going to speed through that, because I'm just taking this and cutting the pieces. I am going to try to make it come to kind of a point, kind of like a rounded point, and I'll show you that once I'm done. My wire cutters were not cutting it. So I went out to my garage and I found these. I'm not sure what they're called. I know they cut hedges and stuff. I don't know how sharp they are, but I'm going to try to use these to cut this, because this was not working. I ended up taking this outside to cut it because it was making a huge mess. And it was also pretty difficult. If you had sharper cutters, you probably wouldn't need to work as hard as I did. But I'm basically doing what I'm showing you here, where I'm just grabbing each branch and I'm cutting it. These bigger ones did want to turn sideways, so just be really careful and know that this is a lot of work. So if you can buy one already cut, I would do that. I have decided to use some wire to wrap around the ends. Like I said before, I'm going to spray paint it, so I don't think you're going to see it, but I really don't want this to like spread apart and look funny. So I'm just using this wire. I don't know what gauge it is. It's just like regular floral wire. But I am going to wrap it around, and I'll probably use more than one. I just want to make sure it's not going to come undone, because I don't want to leave the zip ties. And I think I'm still going to add some hot glue, but just in case, I'm going to add some wire as well. And I'm basically just wrapping it around. think I am going to try the hot glue though. I'm just going to like feed it down into it. And this is Gorilla Hot Glue. I have it on the high setting. I do suggest Gorilla Hot Glue just because it holds so well. And if you wanted to, you could probably add some E6000 in here too, which isn't a bad idea. I may end up going back through and doing that. I just want to make sure everything stays together. I have these thicker wires. These are about the same size as a stem on a flower. So if you don't have anything like this, you could actually use a longer piece from like a scrap piece of floral. But all I'm doing is wrapping it around twice. I'm going to come around to the back and twist, and then I'm going to take this to make sure I get it really, really tight. So I'm just going to keep twisting. Twist that. This may be overkill. I just want to make sure it's going to work. And it blends in with the branches, so we'll be okay. And it takes a while for this glue to dry, so I am not taking everything apart yet. So I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to trim these off. I'm going to go outside and spray paint it. This is just, I don't know, my husband had this. It's just flat black spray paint. You could use anything. You might want to get something that has better coverage. I personally like the Krylon, I believe this was called. The Krylon Fusion. That's my favorite spray paint. That's what I use for my fall wreaths. The eucalyptus wreath that I spray paint. I only have to do one coat of that. So we're going to see how this works. But I think it'll work out okay. So I'll be back after this is dry and I've spray painted it. While I'm waiting for my grapevine wreath to dry, I'm going to go ahead and work on my roses. So I'm just going to pop the eyeballs off. They come right off. And then you've got a rose. I'm just going to pull the roses off, separate from the flowers. I don't like how scraggly some of these roses look, so I am going to double up on them. I'm just going to kind of take them apart just a little bit. So, see how this one's kind of closed? I don't know if you can tell. And this one's not. It's hard to see because it's black. But I want to put this one on that one so it creates a larger rose, and it'll come out like this. This one's bigger. So I'll put two together here. I did glue them, and I'm hoping it's going to hold. If not, I'll go back through and glue each individual stem. So I'm trying to find the best way to do it. And I think the way I just did it is probably not the best way. Alright, so taking that off, I think what I'm going to do is trim this and then add this back on there to hold it together. No, I don't know if that'll work. Okay, so this has something that sticks out too, so I'm going to trim that off. I'm going to add a ton of glue. Hold that together and stick it right in the middle. And then just hold them together. And like I said, if I have to, I'll go back through and put glue on each section just to make sure it stays. I just wanted these roses to look fuller and be a little bit larger than what they actually are, because that's how big it is and this is how big it becomes. So I really like the two together. So I'm going to go through and make several of those. This is what it looks like when it's done. It's dry for the most part. I just wanted to put this down just in case. You can kind of see the elements down here, so I may end up taking those off when I'm done. But I'm going to go ahead and start sticking my stuff on there. I finished with the roses, and then I pulled all these berries off. I have these leaves left over from this, and then I took some leaves I had in my stash that are about that big, and I took them outside and spray painted those as well. I'm letting those dry right now, but I'll probably end up grabbing those in a minute. So we'll start with the roses. part, my leaves have dried. And these are leaves I just spray painted them. I did the backs too, but not as good as the front, just in case you saw some of it. And I'm just going to add these as well, so I get the larger elements. That's the thing I've noticed with grapevine wreaths. You need to layer, layer, layer. Lots of different layers. This was definitely a labor of love. I went through and added a couple more just single roses just to fill in some spots. I added these in. I took the leaves from the actual roses that I put in there and I kind of glued them together because they had a center that I didn't like to see. So I just kind of glued them together and then stuck them in places. And then parts of the berries where the white was showing, I kind of pulled berries from behind these where you won't see it and glued those in the place of it. I did my best to try to cover things up because she is going to put a cat right here and then have a, it's like a gem, a necklace with like a crystal where it looks like the cat's playing with it. It's really cute. But she's going to do all that. So hopefully she likes this. I'm going to send her some pictures tomorrow, but hopefully y'all enjoyed my video, and that's how I made my half moon Halloween wreath. If y'all have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or you can email me at craftingwithlee@yahoo.com. Thanks so much for watching, and if y'all learned anything today or liked my video, please like, share, and subscribe, and be sure to become a member of my wreath group. Thank you.